What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm beginning to pick up a little bit of a streak here. That's 4 correct main card predictions in a row, and my prelim picks were correct as well. I want to keep the momentum going into this week. I'm going to give you my picks and predictions for the entire main card, as well as one lock on the early prelims. Let's get right into it, starting off with the main event. I want to talk about Figgy first. Former flyweight champion and a dangerous fighter, we all know that. His power carries up to bantamweight. He's great at finding sneaky counters, especially with his right hand, and he's dangerous anytime he can back you up against the cage. His grappling is also underrated. He's got 4 submissions in the UFC. He also had 3 straight wins in bantamweight, but he is coming off a loss to Peter Yan, and that fight showed some cracks. Against a guy like Yan, who's defensively sound and pressures smartly, Figgy struggled to keep the pace. His output was slow and he couldn't find the big shots. The fight slipped away from him, and that's something to keep an eye out on here. In this matchup against Cory, the biggest challenge for Figgy will be dealing with Cory's movement, range, and volume. Cory's not just going to stand still and let him load up. He's going to jab, kick, move, and make it hard for him to set his feet and land. Figgy's going to have to be patient, but also find ways to close the distance without getting picked apart. Now moving on to Cory Sandhagen. Cory is one of the most technical and well-rounded strikers at bantamweight. He's tall for the division, standing at 5'11", and he knows how to use that reach really well. He's younger, fresher, and right now he's in his prime, which could really play a big role in this matchup. So who do I think wins? Overall, I think Cory's path to victory is just very clear. Stay on the outside, pump the jab, chip away with the kicks. So I am going to go with Cory to win this fight. I think he's just a younger, fresher fighter. If he can use his reach, he can use his volume to his advantage. I think that makes the difference in this matchup. And I really hate to say that because I like Figgy. I think he's an amazing fighter and I love this run that he's been on in bantamweight. But he is 37 and I have to ask the question how much more he has to give in this competitive, growing division. Moving on to the co-main event, we have RDR taking on Bo Nickal. I can't believe this is not on a pay-per-view. This fight is an absolute banger. I'm so excited for it. This is just such a huge step up in competition for Bo Nickal. I know everyone looks at him like some type of phenom, and he is. I think that he is championship material one day. He still has a long way to go in my eyes. He only has 7 professional fights. I think this is a bad matchup for him. RDR is no joke. He's coming off 2 submission wins in the UFC. He's a former 1 champion. He has over 21 professional fights. He's 34 years old. I mean, this guy is in his prime. He has so much experience. I think he wins this fight by far. Also massive for a middleweight, I feel like. He's 6'4" compared to Bo Nickal being 6'1". I'm even going to go as far as to say he might even be the better striker. I wasn't too overly impressed with Bo Nickal's last performance over Paul Craig. He's learning on the job, and that's fine. But this is somebody who's already been there, done that. If Bo Nickal can get this done, I will be extremely impressed with him, get him into the rankings ASAP. But I don't see that happening. I'm sorry to my fellow Americans, but I am going to go with the Dutchman to win this fight by submission or decision. No matter who wins this fight, I need to see one of them in the top 15 in middleweight just because I think it'll really shake things up. Moving on, we have Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Daniel Rodriguez. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am not that interested in this matchup. The odds makers have it about even, and I agree with that. Both these guys are strikers. They're both 38 on the back ends of their career. I think Santiago wins this just because I think he's the more powerful and accurate striker. Moving on to the next fight, we have Montel Jackson taking on Daniel Marcos. I love this fight. Montel is actually one of my favorite bantamweights right now, but I think this is a bad matchup for him. I see why the odds makers have Montel as a favorite. He's coming off 2 great KO victories, but I just think that Daniel will be the more accurate striker here. They're both dangerous strikers. I think that Montel will have the advantage in the power department, but I think that Daniel will have the advantage with the volume and just the creativity with his striking and his knees and his Muay Thai. Daniel's also undefeated, and we know he has the cardio to go all 3 rounds. I think Montel always has a puncher's chance, but I am going to go with Daniel by unanimous decision or split decision victory. Moving on, we have Smotherman versus Sydney. Right off the bat, I am going to take Smotherman to win this fight. Both these guys are young and new to the UFC, so they still have a lot to offer. But I just think that I'm more impressed by what I saw in Cameron Smotherman's debut versus what I seen in Sydney. But overall, I think the safest bet is this fight goes the distance. Moving on to the very first fight on the main card, we have Jeremy Stephens taking on Mason Jones. I'm really excited that they gave this opportunity to Jeremy to open up the main card in his hometown. It's super exciting, especially coming off that huge victory over Eddie Alvarez. After all, he is the hardest hitting 145er. But he is 38 years old and he hasn't fought since 2022, and he has kind of gone on this terrible losing streak. Mason Jones did fight in the UFC, but I believe he got cut after only getting one win, and then he went on to fight at Cage Fury, and I believe he's on like a 4-fight winning streak right now. I'm gonna be honest, it feels illegal going against Jeremy Stephens in his hometown like this, but I have to because logic has to win here. I don't see him winning after coming off this long layover at his age. Give me Mason Jones by decision. Moving on to my lock for the prelims, it's another woman's fight, and it's going to be Jillian Robertson, either by decision or submission. Jillian's finally got her momentum. She's on a 3-fight winning streak in strawweight, and her biggest strength is her opponent's biggest weakness. I think if she can get the fight to the ground, she definitely keeps it there for all 3 rounds. Marina has shown that she doesn't really have a way to get back up to her feet. She's also 37 years old and she's 4-1 in her last 5. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel. I finally hit 500 subscribers and I just have to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But until next time, bye.